6 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I have become a fan of the TED Talks, and I became a fan, I suppose, within the last year. I've heard about the TED Talks, and maybe I saw a few online just in passing, but in the past year or so, I've purposely been looking for them. And then I realized there was something called Tedx, and I didn't understand what that was. And now, if you don't know what TED Talks are, just real quickly, and we're going to have Manal Fakhoury in just a second give you a better explanation. But the way I would say it is this: inspirational, motivational people who have an area of expertise, and they share that expertise in a short speech, maybe 20 minutes or so, sometimes not even 20 minutes, and it sometimes is so enlightening. So and TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. Correct? And then there was the X added to it, and I think that's when it started to go to different towns. And I always thought, gosh, I wish somebody would bring one to Ocala. Well, guess what? It's happening. And when I read this was happening, and then I said, oh, of course, who's bringing it to Ocala? Manal Fakhoury is bringing it to Ocala, and some princess or something, right? There's a princess? No? No, isn't there a princess? It says on you. It says on you.
Princess, correct. Princess is her name.
That's her name, Princess. So it's 9 days. Swan. 9 days, 4 hours, 46 minutes, and 28 seconds from right now. That's when it's going to be. So Manal Fakhoury,
so exciting.
A friend, a beautiful lady, and one of the biggest givers in this community in many ways.
Exactly.
Good morning, Manal. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to be here.
Good to see you. Last time I saw you, we were umpahing for Riyadh's birthday party.
That's right. That was fun. Thanks for being there.
Thank you. My car wasn't worthy to park in your parking lot.
No. But we had fun.
So we did. How are you?
Doing great.
How did this come about? How come you're not on the list?
Oh, there's a rule.
You should be speaking.
Oh. One of the rules of Tedx is that you cannot speak at your own event. So you can, if you apply for the license, which is what I did, and to be the curator and the organizer, they have a lot of rules, by the way, great rules, is you cannot speak at your event. You can host, you can MC, but that's it. You can't give your own talk.
Well, have somebody else host an event again, and then you have to speak. But you do have some very distinguished people speaking.
We do.
Some of them we've had in the studio talking to us, and I love it. What are the rules exactly? How many people will speak at this event? Let me start there.
Well, and I can even back up a little bit more, perhaps, and give you a quick history.
Yeah.
Would you like that?
Sure.
I think a lot of times people are curious, and I love the history of this TED, the nonprofit. So as you stated, it's not somebody's name. It does stand for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. It was started by Richard Salman, and the best part of that story is back in 1982, when he was taking all these flights and traveling, he found that the most interesting people that he was speaking with on these flights were in either the technology, entertainment, or design industry. And what was even more interesting about it is this cross-sectionality of people wanting to learn about the other industries. So from 1982 to 1984, the idea was percolating, and in 1984, the very first TED event was held, and in Monterey, California, and he had great friends, great speakers, including the Mac was revealed at the very first TED event.
Really?
People
Who revealed it?
I don't remember the gentleman that went to, gave his talk and went to receive his very first Grammy. USA Today was released. Fractional Geometry was released. So all these great things happened at this first event. The only thing was that he had a hard time getting the audience. He wanted to create this critical mass in terms of having people in the audience for the speakers. Ended up having invited a bunch of students to fill the room, and everyone left inspired. He left saying, "I will never do this again."
Oh, really?
And the great part is 6 years later, someone that attended his first event encouraged him to do it again. So in 1990, he basically now starts to consider doing his second event, and in 1992, so 2 more years later, we have TED 2. And then, then in 1994, another 2-year gap, he has TED 3. And it's really amazing that what it has become. And then you stated, Larry, that you were interested in TED and then started learning about TEDx, because there is a difference. Well, for all the listeners, if you even just quickly go on to TED.com and go to the attend page, the TED events now, and it started out as invitation only, but now you do have to apply to attend a TED event. They are modestly priced at $8,500.
No way.
And there is a VIP ticket for $17,000.
Oh my
if you want to go
goodness.
for that. And then I recently learned by spending a little more time on that website is there is a $100,000 ticket price, which includes attending
Who is in this
multiple years.
audience?
Amazing people, thought-provoking
Really?
leaders. And a big part of TED is curation, meaning that you are actually looking, and we say it, and I've been saying it quite a bit to my friends, is the audience needs to be just as impressive as your speakers, because their tagline is ideas worth spreading. So it is a lot more than inspiration, and quite frankly, as organizers, we're trained not to take and accept just an inspirational talk, because there's lots of those. They actually even tell us, run away from that. There has to be an idea, and it needs to be idea-based, and that's what we're looking for within that conversation or talk.
Have you gone to a lot of the events? Have you ever gone to one of the big ones, or?
I haven't yet.
No.
And interestingly, with licensing, when you first apply, your license is also limited to the number of guests you can have. So currently, for our first year, for our inaugural year, for any event's inaugural year, it is you're limited to 100 guests. Now, what happens after that? In order to get that lifted, you do have to attend one of their TED events.
Oh, and which one did you go to?
Well, I have to still go because it's not until 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there is
Okay.
something coming up in New York City also that I'm going to next week. It's actually several nights. It's a brand new program that TED is rolling out where it's 3 consecutive nights, 3 different themes, and the one that I'm getting a chance to attend is War and Peace, and it'll be in New York City on the
man.
4th of November.
Oh, that's right up your alley because
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
such a
man.
great diplomat, Manal.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
really are.
Yeah, you might be responsible for peace in the Middle East one day.
Yeah,
that
I
would be
hope
nice.
so.
I think we all are. But yeah, it's going to take a lot of effort. And I
Yeah,
think
but you
there's a lot
actually
of-
go there. You and Riyadh, you actually go there and show pictures and make us realize that there are human beings on both sides. That
Yeah.
anybody we've ever demonized doesn't deserve to be demonized. You've been a great spokesperson.
No, thank you.
One of the wonderful things about what you're saying about the audience is that a person that's not a mover and a shaker won't help the program
Right.
or have the ideas to go forward. They need somebody like you or somebody like other people in our community that will be able to take an idea and run with it and make the world a better place.
And that's what we're looking for is because, again, using their concept, the TED concept, is that you want to be able to influence your community, and that is how we ultimately improve and change our world is community by community. And so you're looking at the guests that are really engaged, they're intellectual explorers, they're interested in hearing the ideas and seeing how they can spread the ideas.
Oh, wonderful.
The entertainment part is the part that I mean I'm attracted to all 3 parts, but I'm attracted to the entertainment part maybe because that's what we do.
Right.
But I've always thought that what we do isn't as important as like what you do. You're a pharmacist, your husband is a doctor. It seems like you're contributing so much more than we are by making music or by talking on the radio. But yet, when I watch the Tedx talks and it's an entertainer, you sort of say, okay, ideas worth spreading. That is a good idea, whatever it happens to be at that time.
Right.
One of the speakers that you have is Tim Conway, and he's easy name to remember because he's the same name as that celebrity
The actor.
comedian. But when he was in here, during the Literacy Council Kiss the Horse event, he told us some things about his background and his father's background and their contribution to helping people who couldn't read learn to read that was different than anybody else had ever said it.
Right.
So I'm so glad to see him on the list.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear him because I have not heard
Yeah.
him speak before, but he's got a great idea. He's got a great message.
Yeah.
And he's one of the 10 speakers that will be presenting.
And he just isn't a person to have a great idea or a great message. When he was on before, he actually took that idea and implemented it and helped people learn how to read.
Right. And it'll be nice for others in the audience to hear that. And what's great about TED is that these talks now go on to the internet, and really you're sharing TEDx Ocala with the world.
They're all videotaped.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I love that. I mean, I watch them. Do you know, and some you probably experience this too. You say, okay, this one isn't really for me. I'll watch a few minutes of it, go, and okay, this isn't really a topic for me. But
Right.
for somebody else, it is.
Correct.
But for me. So can I ask you some of the names? We got to take a break, and then,
Okay.
then we'll do that. Okay, so on the other side of the break, Manal Fakhoury is here, of course. We're talking about the TEDx Ocala event happening on Saturday, November 7th. That's a week from this Saturday.
Yes.
A week from this Saturday, from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Ocala Civic Theater. We'll find out more about it and who actually is going to be there when we come back. This is WOCA.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking: will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
18 minutes after 10 o'clock. Nice looking Thursday morning. And a week from this Saturday is the Tedx Ocala event. Manal Fakhoury is one of the people who made this happen for us here in Ocala. It's an exciting event. And there's a whole lineup of guests that will be speaking. Manal's going to educate us about that. Real quick, I wanted to say something. You're with Toastmasters.
Correct.
And so as Toastmasters, I know that you have experiences to be better speakers, public speakers. A lot of times people have a great wealth of knowledge, but they don't have that public speaking skill.
Correct.
So did the speakers? I don't even have those skills. Did the speakers have to pass a test regarding public speaking?
They don't have to pass a test, but of course delivery is crucial into putting on a great TED Talk. We do have speaker coaches that we've recommended to help them. One is to just for them to bounce ideas, to make suggestions for them to practice, and the idea really is the star of the conversation. It's not the person.
I like that, yeah.
So we really emphasize, and even in our training, they tell us if you're looking for someone that's very polished, but no real idea, is just purely inspirational versus, there's a solid idea, and they're not great, and they might need to use notes, their voice is a little shaky, you would actually go with the other person because it is the idea that we're after.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So one of the rules I wanted to ask you about is the length of time a person can speak, because when I look at the videos, they all seem to be 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, one of the rules, and to be specific, it's 18 minutes.
It's 18 minutes,
yeah,
okay.
But you will find some that are beyond 18 minutes, but the rule is, and the concept behind it was that it's supposed to be an 18-minute talk, and of course some of the best talks are even probably under 10 minutes. So one of the things that we've advised our speakers is if you can get your message, even to 15 minutes or lower, let it be. Don't continue to speak if you've already delivered that message.
So if you are you like me? You've seen a lot of them online?
I have.
You have?
Yes.
Any favorites that come to mind?
Several. I have many. And what's interesting is I've also started attending many TEDx events, here in the state of Florida, and one of the best ones in the country was at Mile High in Colorado that I had a chance to go to, and that was my very first event.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Really? So favorites, there's so many. Of course, many people know The Power of Vulnerability by Renee. I'm trying to remember her last name, or I want to pronounce it correctly. Is it Beret Brown? I don't know if I pronounced her name correctly, but there's really so many great ones. And one of the requirements that we have at our event is we will show 2 recorded talks. That's actually one of the rules on your first event. So you'll have the live speakers.
Oh, really? Okay.
And, yes, and then we'll have 2 recorded speakers that we will
This is a lot of pressure on your part for putting this TEDx talk on, because you not only have to make sure that the speakers are top notch, but the audience members have to be able to follow through with whatever it is they're coming to hear.
Correct. And our speakers, we had such a great response of applicants, and it was really tough to say no to some friends and people that we know and people that we care about that also had great ideas. But it was, through a committee, and we ended up with 5 local speakers, 4 speakers from out of the state, and then 1 international speaker.
Oh my gosh, how wonderful. And they're all going to be live, or are 2 of those speakers
No, all of them are live, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be 10 live speakers, 2 recorded speakers for the guests that are coming on November 7th.
Oh, how wonderful.
So I have the website, tedxocala.com.
Correct.
Can I ask you some of the names? Charles Archer. Is he one of the recorded ones, or is he going to be there?
No, so all of the ones that you're seeing, their pictures on and we haven't revealed what the recorded ones are, and we have a lot of flexibility with that. But Charles Archer is from New York City. He's an author, he's an attorney, and he has a great message, and the title of his talk is called The Friendship Clause. The Friendship Clause. So I'm not going to reveal much more than that.
You're just going to keep me curious. Okay.
That's right.
All right. Can I go through all of them? Mary Beck. We know Mary.
Yeah.
So what is she talking about?
So Mary
hasn't.
Yes, I can tell you just as much as we've revealed in the press release, which is basically the essence of the title of their talk. So hers is about embracing the multicultural family.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
that
is a good one.
Yeah. And I think of timely and interesting, and somewhat, some in some cases maybe controversial or maybe uncomfortable, but definitely a great talk.
But don't you feel like on that particular topic that the media makes it out to be different than it is in real life?
Yes, and I think there's a lot of history, behind that in terms of just our country and just globally. I think we're so much more connected now that people are starting to understand humanity at a different level.
I think it's what Shakespeare was trying to say in Romeo and Juliet. Look, these 2 people fell in love. You shouldn't be fighting.
Right.
The 2 families should be together.
Right.
Adonica Shaw.
So Adonica Shaw's from L.A., and hers, I love the title of her talk, and she states that we need less volunteers. So we'll have to see what she's going to share.
Really?
Yes. So imagine that. You would never expect somebody to be out there preaching that we need less volunteers, but that's the title of her talk.
I'm curious what she wants. Maybe each volunteer doing more. I don't know. John Shields. I don't think I know him.
So John's local, and he is retirement redefined. So I think he's got a great idea regarding the whole phase of retirement and redefining it and understanding it.
Ahmad Shami.
So Ahmed Shami is from Palestine, and he's a conflict resolution analyst, and his is about searching for humanity. So I think there's a deep message with his talk.
We've been doing all of humanity. We've been searching for that, right?
Exactly.
That's a really good one. Cindy Grimes is somebody else we know.
Yes.
Yeah, and Cindy, local, great person. I think Cindy's become where when you hear the word kindness, you think of Cindy, and I think the title of her talk is Kindness is the Cure. So, there is definitely an inspirational message in there, but there's a call to action.
And she's been in our community a long time. She started Mom and Dad's magazine when it was just a newspaper print, and then it morphed into what it is today. So she's a wonderful lady.
Yes.
Amy Morin.
And Amy Morin is another amazing young woman. She's coming from out of state. She's from Maine. She's an author, and her talk is centered around becoming mentally strong, the secret of becoming mentally strong. And I think people are going to really enjoy her talk.
One of the things from the talks I've seen on video is that a lot of people have something tragic or unfortunate in their background that made them stronger.
Right.
I'm guessing that's true in her case, just based on the topic.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And Tim Conway we mentioned, but we didn't mention what he might be talking about.
Yeah, and let me go back to Amy for a quick second.
Okay.
And with Amy, she's someone I actually heard her interview by Darren Hardy, who has published Success Magazine. Each month he releases an issue and an audio, and I listen to those audios. And I remember just being so impressed. So I'll even share publicly that Amy was invited to speak. So she didn't necessarily,
nice.
she filled out the application, but she was also invited to speak.
Oh,
She looks young.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Tim.
Yeah.
So the title of his talk is Mixing Oil and Water, which I love that, and so intriguing. But
Is that a metaphor?
It is, and it's related to speaking speaking, or excuse me, related to the dyslexia and teaching.
Oh, that's his specialty too.
Yes.
He had that with his daughter, so that is wonderful.
There are two others on here. John Mills.
Okay, John Mills is the privacy expert, and he's a professor at UF and has a phenomenal talk, great speaker. All of our speakers submitted a short video sample of their speaking as part of the application process.
Okay. Well, what is he talking about? Privacy?
Privacy in the new media.
Oh, okay.
So when we talk about new media, the social media, the alternative media, so he'll be giving us some ideas.
And last but not least, now M.K. Mueller looks familiar to me, but I don't know if I know her. But she has.
Well, she's from Kansas City. I don't know, but
so maybe I wouldn't know her.
So she has a program. She's considered the gratitude guru. That's her moniker.
Oh.
And the title of her talk is The One Question. And she's actually right now slated for our final speaker. She'll be our final speaker the day of the event.
Is that right?
You have a wonderful cross-section because it really would not be beneficial if everybody was touching on the same topic in a different way.
Correct. And that's one of the suggestions. You have a theme, and then within your theme also you want to have quite a bit of diversity in topics that the speakers are speaking.
I think by bringing it to Ocala, you are, first of all, you're bringing a great program. You're bringing a brand that has respect, and that I've become a fan of. It's almost like when you see the Tedx, the red name and the red circle that they stand on, that you say, okay, this is going to be good. Somebody did their homework and made sure that this person has something to deliver.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we started with a little bit of the history, and the cool thing is, if you may have heard of the statement, it takes 24 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah, right.
And that's pretty much does apply to TED, because up to about, they're in their 30th year, and it wasn't until about 2006 when they started posting the videos and they created the X. And the X in itself is very important because the X means it's an independently organized event. And by rules, we are required, we can never just say TED.com, excuse me, TED Ocala. It's got to have that X, and the X is explained right underneath our logo, equals independently organized event.
When this is over with on that day, will the audience be able to intermingle with the speakers, and they'll be able to get one-on-one with them if they want?
And that's the cool thing, is this whole experience for the audience. And some events, and something that we aspire to grow to, is to have an audience experience. But in that, one of the things that we'll be telling our attendees and our guests is, don't sit in the same place after the break. Make sure you have a different person on your right, a different person on the left. Speak with each other and speak with the speakers. So that is all meant to happen at a TEDx event or a TED event.
Oh, how wonderful. You're forcing people to be social and get out of their shyness.
Yeah, and have conversations. That's it's supposed to, the talks that they listen to are supposed to spark some conversation to create community.
Are they international? Are there other languages of the TED speaks?
There are, and TED is in 135 different countries, and there's people that translate. So you can actually be a TED fellow, you can be a TED translator. There's the TED Prize. TED has grown tremendously, and again, a lot of that is on their website. It's nice to hear all the different programs that they offer now.
We have less than a minute, Manal. It went very quick, but I'm so glad you came in today. So, did you say during the break it's almost sold out, or is sold out?
Yeah, we're unofficially sold out. We'll probably close it after the next 5 tickets sell, and that's almost like an overage.
5 tickets, okay,
wow. We're selling a little bit extra, knowing that sometimes things happen at the end, or that we can absorb the extra 5 guests. Yeah, we're allowing 5 more tickets to be sold.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, well, thank you for coming in. Thank you for bringing this to Ocala. I'm a fan of yours, and a fan of Riyadh, of course, and a fan of TEDx. So it's a three wins for me. Manal Fakhoury, thank you so much. Call us if you need anything repeated. Go to tedxocala.com. That's where you'll see everything. 9 days, 4 hours, 24 minutes, and 19 seconds from now.
That's exciting.
Thank you, Manal.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Carmen Roberts. The GOP presidential candidates clashed as much with CNBC moderators during last night's debate as they did with rivals. Candidate Chris Christie.
I'm not going to sit around and let me or my colleagues be treated like that, not only in the biased way, but also with the irrelevant questions that were being asked. American people deserve better than that. And if we're not tough enough to stand up and interject like I did last night, you're not tough enough to be on the stage with Hillary Clinton next September.
Christie on Fox and Friends this morning. Secretary of State John Kerry's in Vienna for another round of talks on how to stop Syria's civil war.
The challenge that we face in Syria today is nothing less than to chart a course out of hell.
And Wall Street opens lower as investors react to the U.S. economy slowing to a crawl this summer. Only 1.5% growth. The Dow Industrial is down as much as 50 points in the first minutes. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Meet Rachel. She's making serious money on her own schedule driving with Uber.
I was looking for something that was convenient and something that would help me to reach my financial goals. A friend suggested Uber and I liked it. I love the convenience of it. So I log on when I'm available and log off when I'm not. And it's very, very easy to do. Just get in your car and you drive. And I like driving my car.
Thanks, Rachel. To start making great money with your car, sign up to drive today at drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com.
And now, a touching moment. Well, staying in touch with Geico.
I remember it like it was yesterday. As I downloaded the Geico app, a bluebird landed on my finger. I said, "Hey, Mr. Bluebird, did you know you can add a car to your Geico policy with just a tap of your finger? Just scan the VIN number. It's so easy." After that, we watched the sunset together and ate birdseed. The birdseed tasted super weird, but the sunset was nice.
VIN scanning to add a car. Just a few taps away on the Geico app.